thought I was going to be an acupuncturist or study Chinese medicine.
Okay, wait. Where did you grow up? Let's talk about, because I want to talk about the barriers.
I was made in El Salvador,
okay, so,
Central America.
Okay.
I graduated from high school in '75.
Okay.
And there was a big civil war in my country.
Yes.
You're very familiar with what happens in other countries.
Yes.
So my family had to leave the country in 1980 because they were going to kill us.
Okay.
As any immigrant community, we, my mom, who was a very strong woman, until I turned 50, I understood.
Okay.
Yes. She was like, oh, we have to go. And we arrived in New York in 10 days after the first threat.
Okay.
And at that time, I had gone to university in Central America, and I was very smart, and all of those great things. But coming to this country, I had to start from zero. I don't speak the language.
Well, you got an accent, so that means you don't.
Yeah. Right. I have an accent, so I don't speak English.
So
yes.
you don't.
Exactly.
So that's how it goes, right?
Yeah, so that's how that goes.
Right.
One of the things I learned in this country was that because I had an accent, because I look a little different, because of all of that, I had to try harder, I have to study harder, I have to prove myself, and I'm still doing it.
Yes.
I'm gonna be 62 next week.
Yes.
And I'm still doing it. I'm still proving myself.
Oh my God.
So, I have studied all my life, everything. Name it.
This is the pathway we're on. It's actually, I've been studying these for 5 decades. I've been studying Chinese medicine, and I'll open a book up, and I'll go to a passage, and all of a sudden the light comes on. Wow! How come I didn't see that before? I've been reading that, but I never understood it. Right. And so this is, as a student, you have to be a student.
Right.
Okay, you always have to learn. Go ahead.
But I wasn't really interested in Chinese medicine.
Okay.
First in my 20s, it was a matter of survival.
Yes.
It was a matter of I have to make it.
Yes.
I have to find what to do.
Yes.
For reasons, family reasons, and coming out as being gay.
Yes.
I ended up in the street.
Yeah, of course.
It's normal for LGBT to say, oh, at some point I was homeless.
Yes, because there's society and the family and
everybody. The family,
it's the shame and the fear and all of that,
And you're not normal, and you are not welcome, and I have siblings that tell me I'm going to hell.
Yes, that's the fear.
So I stopped calling.
Yeah.
And then I tell my teacher, my great teacher, and I would like to talk a little bit about him, Jeffrey Ewing.
Oh yes, he's a legend.
I said, Jeffrey, my brother said I'm going to hell. And he says, well, what makes you think the afterlife is going to be any different than it is now? Where do you think they're going to need us the most?
Right.
We have to go there to help the others.
Right.
So then the perspective changed.
It changed.
Yes, definitely.
That's the most important thing.
So I went to Torah College originally when I first got my green card, which was when I was 27 years old. I had to wait 7 years to get anything legal, legit, paying lawyers and all of that. So I went to Torah College, which is a private Jewish college. At Taino Towers, they had a place in Harlem. Right. Mm-hmm. And I went there and I got my bachelor's in liberal arts and human services. Somebody complained to the dean that I was doing drugs, and because I looked so tired and my eyes were always red. Because I was delivering newspapers at night, on the weekends I was working in St. Vincent's Hospital, the night shift. I was working 3 different jobs and I was doing full-time school. So I didn't sleep.
Typical immigrant.
Typical immigrant, she's doing drugs. So the dean calls me.
Right.
And after he got to know me, he offers me a great job, the director of the amnesty program.
Okay.
So in less than a few days, I had like 500 students for the program because once you get one Senegalese, you get 50.
Right.
Once you get one guy from Ivory Coast, you get another 50.
Right.
Once you get a Mexican, you get 200 people.
Right.
So I had a lot of people coming in. The program was fantastic. It was great. But then, the grants run out and people accomplish what they needed to do. They got their green cards. They became citizens. They took their test. Then after that, there was a recession. Every time a Republican finished the term, there's always a recession.
Let me just interject something here. I was talking to the out in Long Island, one of the heads of the NAACP. The Long Island, the southern part is mixed pretty much between Hispanic and Black, right?
Yeah.
Pretty big populations. And he complained to me. He says, the Hispanic and the Black, they don't talk to each other. And he says, because of the civil rights movement, they got the immigration to open up to people of color. And without the civil rights movement, all of these new brown and other immigrants would never be allowed in America because they had quotas on Chinese and Central Americans and Africans and everybody else. So the civil rights movement is the reason why this country is the way it is, because that movement opened the doors up for immigration. And it's just interesting that most people don't know that. They think, this is the way America was. When I was a kid, I couldn't even think of more than the country was black and white, or maybe a little small pocket of Puerto Ricans, but that was it. Go ahead.
But then in Latin America, we have the full spectrum where we are mutts, basically. We have...
The human race is mutts.
White from, Latin America is like, what do I put in the census? I'm not white. I don't consider myself white. I don't consider myself black. I don't consider myself Native Indian. It's like I'm a little bit of everybody, and that's what I feel. I can identify and I can relate to everybody because I'm a little bit of everybody.
Well, when you go back in history, ancient history, there was always these places where people would coalesce and create a certain look, over the centuries. And then they move out and coalesce somewhere else and create a certain look. Population goes somewhere else, and then people say, like as if the look or the features are static. No, they're static for a while, for maybe 200-300 years, and then some other influx come in and change the look. That has happened all over Africa, Asia, Europe, all over the place. So, we don't take the long view, but
the human race is just one.
Yes.
We are one race, just one race.
So I always have that discussion.
Yes.
But it's good that you pointed that out.
One race.
When you talk about mutts, we're talking about the mixing of humanity from ancient times. It's just, some people try to put today the whole idea of race, which is some artificial construct, right? To say that white people, all those white people in Europe, all those people out of Africa who migrated into Europe, I don't think they were like their ancestors, because their first ancestors who went into Europe were all Africans. So, come on,
And remember the Silk Road.
Yes, back and forth.
How many people mingled there? Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So,
It's an interesting thing about race.
Yes.
I don't spend a lot of time with that because it's not my problem.
Right.
I like humans, right?
It's a human race.
I like humans.
Exactly.
So continue your story. It's interesting.
So then I forgot.
You were talking about how you came up. You got your job and you did the thing with
the amnesty and then there was a recession. Right. So I opened up a comic book store.
That was 2007. The recession then.
No.
What?
No.
Back in the 70s. 70s or 80s.
90s.
90s. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm older.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
okay. That one. Okay.
So then my brother got into a big accident and he almost died.
Okay.
And I was so in awe with the EMS people.
Okay.
So I wanted to study something in the medical field, but I just didn't know what.
Okay.
So I did EMS, but then as soon as I graduated, Giuliani merged fire department with EMS, and I felt I failed the fire department
Was
psychological test.
Was not a place
No.
right for you.
So
right.
I went back to Toro College,
Right.
and I did all the science classes.
Okay.
You would say that's the curriculum for pre-med, you know.
Right.
Like.
Same thing. Yeah.
So, and I was thinking maybe I should do physical therapy.
Right.
And I applied, I got into the school, I got accepted.
Right.
But then I had no money.
Ah.
You know,
Yeah,
physical therapy school is
yeah.
expensive, even
Yeah.
back then. I
Yeah.
had no money.
Yeah.
Student loans. You need a co-signer for
Yes,
student loans.
yes.
And I'm like, what? Who's going to co-sign?
Yes.
Even my girlfriend, my partner at the
Right.
time, she said, I'm not signing
Right.
anything. So it's like,
You're
so
not-
it's like, that's why she's the ex. Anyway, no, that's not why, but
Okay,
anyway,
okay.
she's gonna watch this.
Okay.
Anyway. So I did not go because I had no money.
Okay.
So one of my classmates saw me crying actually in the hallway, and she said, you know what? I graduated from Swedish Institute doing massage therapy. Maybe that's something you want to do similar.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go there tomorrow. I go to Swedish Institute. And they grabbed me, oh boy, they grabbed me. They were like, oh yeah, we want you, we want
Right.
you.
Right. Right.
And I fell in love with massage therapy.
Okay.
It was not a career that you do only when you are on vacation.
Okay.
Now this is therapy, this is changing, this is, you know, massage therapy is, for me it was a spiritual path.
Okay.
It was a spiritual path.
Okay.
So I stopped being a drunk
Okay.
because now I'm on a spiritual path.
Okay.
And all those friends that were to the club with me every night, we were
Right.
like disco dancing and doing
Right,
all of
right.
that. I don't know any of them anymore because it's like, you know, the path went a different direction.
180 degrees.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I said, God, show yourself to me.
Yes.
Otherwise, that's it.
Yes.
I'm gonna be an atheist.
Yes.
So I had a dream. So I have always been very sensitive to dreams.
Okay.
And this guru from India came into my dream.
Okay.
And the dream world is your consciousness
Yes.
connecting with you, giving you a message. And
Yes.
for me, that was like wake up call. Go
Yes.
to India
Yes.
immediately. Finish massage school in April of '99. I went to India for a couple of months, and I came back in September, and I started acupuncture school with Jeffrey Ewing at
Okay.
Swedish Institute. Totally different person.
So what happened in India?
Transformation happened
Well,
in India.
kind of like just briefly, but
Well, I grew up Catholic,
okay.
as you know, in
Yeah,
El
most-
Salvador,
yeah,
and my
the
mother
whole-
wanted me to be a nun in a convent.
Yeah.
Little gay Marta
Right.
was gonna be a nun.
Right.
Yeah, right. And you know, it's not because I didn't love the religion or I didn't love Jesus. I
Right.
did,
Okay.
honestly. Like I was
Okay.
so innocent.
Okay.
But then one day I see two nuns making out in the bathroom, and and then I'm like saying, wait a minute, do I want to be a nun like this and not really true to myself? Or do I want to be in the world and just be a good gay woman?
Yes. Yes.
At least honesty.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So I didn't stay. My mom was upset because she really wanted me to be a nun.
Right.
She wanted to get rid of me.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So India.
so I left her.
Okay. So what happened in India?
In
What
India,
did you experience? What
this
did you
guru
experience?
says to all of us,
Okay.
yes, I am God,
Okay.
but so are you. You just don't know it yet.
Yes.
And me coming from the Catholic Church background
Yes.
and the guilt of being a homosexual person, your life is worthless. But now I have a guru that says to me that God is inside of me.
Right. That sounds like she to me.
That sounded like, to me, my life was giving back
Yes.
to me.
Yes.
So, transformation.
Yes. Okay.
And the rest is history. I mean, I've been going to India, and I've been going to yoga and meditation
yes,
and
yes.
mantra chanting.
Yes.
Is my big thing. The
Yes.
mantra chanting is what I do when I'm doing a
Yes.
treatment.
I hear you. That's your intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting the needle on the points and I'm
Right.
mantra chanting.
Yes.
Because it's healing.
Yes. Well, you allow you know, I always explain that we're just a vessel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't take any credit for anything.
No.
I'm trying to get out of the way.
Yeah.
So the energy can pass into whatever it needs to do.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But go on, and so tell me about Swedish. I mean, your training in Swedish.
Swedish Institute was a great place for me because I was able to be me, myself, and I was nurtured. The sisters Eckarts that owned the school were really nice to the students. They treated me great.
Right.
And being in the school, I met Jeffrey, and he had his acupuncture school, and going to acupuncture school with Jeffrey was like, wow.
Okay.
Jeffrey is...
You're talking about Jeffrey?
Jeffrey Ewan.
Ewan.
Jeffrey is...
The Taoist priest.
The Taoist priest.
Yes.
That is an enlightened being in disguise.
Yes.
I mean, the second he opens his mouth to explain something, you're like, oh my God. Wow. You just know that this man is not normal. He is an amazing being that embodies Chinese medicine.
Well, you just take ownership of his godness.
Yes, he really is.
I mean, that's what
he really is, and he's so compassionate, and he's so kind, and he's got all these attributes, you know. So I study with him, under him, and I still see him 2-3 times a year. Okay. I go get herbs from him for myself, so I can keep in good health, right? And Chinese medicine with him is more like classical acupuncture. Right. So when I treat my clients, besides the Nana protocol and auricular acupuncture that I have.
What is Nana? Nana?
The Nana protocol is for addictions.
Okay. So where is it? Explain to the public. I know what it is. So you got to explain to people. Use these terms, so they want to know what you're talking about. Nada. What is Nada?
So the Nada protocol is it's a system that was created in China, right? And Nixon went to China looking for his sons.
It was Hong Kong, actually, not China, but Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. Okay. So and then his son was an addict, but nobody knew about it, right? Okay. And then he came back with this protocol and another association, and it's a protocol that helps people. Okay.
So you remember the acronym, what it means? North American Detox?
I know detox acupuncture. Okay. But the points are first spirit. You ask permission to spirit.
Okay, but do the treatment. Where the points, where they're located?
Shenmen is the first one.
All of them in your ear.
In your ear.
Okay. I just want to give the audience a little, we're talking about.
They're all done in the ears.
Okay.
The auricular points are very powerful.
Right.
Even for low back pain, if you do something in the ear, it's like instantly.
Right.
It's really better.
So it cures addiction.
It cures addiction. It really takes away the cravings for the type of drugs that you are addicted to. It could be food.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you.
It could be food. Yes.
Okay. How about if you're in love with somebody that you don't need to be in love with as an addiction? Can you use it for that too?
Those are addictions because relationships and relationships are addictions. Obsessions.
There's a lot
That's
of
a gallbladder problem.
Exactly. There's a lot of ways you can use that.
It could be used for that. It could also be used for a pregnant lady who just wants to be balanced and feel better.
People addicted to material things.
It's a complete treatment. People who are casino addicts. Right? Gamblers.
Yeah, same thing.
Anything.
Yes.
People who are addicted to sugar, to food.
Yes. It's profound.
It's a complete treatment.
Yes, I've written a book on ear acupuncture.
Oh, you have? I must read it.
Yeah. It's self-published. I didn't publish it out, but it's self-published. Okay. But I was doing that for my patients because when I was going around in the beginning, I would go to these, I have these lectures of 200-300 people.
Yes.
And I would go there and I have to give everybody ear acupuncture.
Yeah.
So I explain what it is, and I'll start on this side of the room. By the time I finish my lectures, I'm talking.
That's right.
I'll be on the other side of the room, and then I come back and pull up everybody slumped in their chairs. So
they're all sleeping, yes.
Yeah.
I have been doing that for ACQs, the A Center of Queens County.
So I used to do a lot of that.
For harm reduction,
because
our clients in harm reduction not only are they HIV positive, That means they also have all the comorbidities that come with it 25, 30 years later.
Yes.
But also they're battling addiction.
Yes.
So this helps them a lot.
Yes.
And I've been doing that for 21 years.
Okay, so you were explaining when you were at Swedish and you learned this, and
yes.
with Jeffrey Ewan, and
yes. Jeffrey Ewan and his treatments, oh my God, it's like I have not been able to practice everything that he taught us yet.
Okay.
Because it's so much.
Yes.
But I have been doing a lot of extraordinary vessel treatments, which is different meridians.
Okay, Kiko Matsumoto.
Oh, that's
she's
Kiko is another.
Yeah, she's the one that really has a handle on that.
Yeah. And Jeffrey also taught us low vessels for emotional stuff. Yeah. Also divergent meridian treatments.
Right. Okay.
So divergent meridians are best used for chronic illnesses,
right.
autoimmune diseases, arthritis, all kinds of things like that. So that I tell my client, look, if you make a commitment and you're gonna come for the next 6 weeks, guarantee you're gonna have some relief.
Yes.
With this type of treatment. And people usually do it.
Yes.
You know, people who are sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
People who actually want to see something different, want to heal.
Yes.
Anything that we have could be reversed.
Yes. Okay, Martha, let's talk a little bit about the future of the profession, the business, where you see us going. And I mean, if you were starting out today as a kid, well,
my God.
What would you do?
Oh,
what would you give?
If I could do that,
yeah.
oh my God. I mean, the younger the better, so you can learn more and understand more.
Right.
I have been teaching at New York College of Health Professions, and I see my students be successful.
Yes.
So there is nothing I would like more than to see young people come into this profession. You know.
And the thing about this profession that I really love is that you're your own boss.
Right.
You set your own hours, and you decide how much money you want to make and when.
And which clients to take. You decide what areas you want to work on.
Yes.
You decide if you want to do nonprofit, like I have been doing.
Right.
You decide if you want to do private.
Right.
You decide if you want to do Hollywood.
Right. Or you want to work in hospitals. I mean, the VA now. The VA has acupuncture, right?
VA has acupuncture.
So
yes.
Everywhere.
A lot of hospitals are hiring.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the future looks pretty bright for this profession. It's just that it's unknown in the communities of color. And so part of the lack of awareness is that many people don't get a chance to see people like you who are doing this and are successful, and they have no clue. So, you know, part of it is to, you know, explain to, you know, like, is this a profession that is growing? Right. Is it? Right. Do you think it's growing?
Yeah, I think so.
You're a teacher, so
yes, I mean, I teach. I have working nonprofit. I have done house calls. I work for spas. I work in many different places.
Yes.
I can go to someone's house and charge them $300 for a visit.
Yes.
And do a treatment.
Yes.
And they'll pay it.
Do you take insurance?
No.
Okay. So you wanted to.
But I'm not against it.
Okay.
I think it's a great way to see a client that otherwise they wouldn't see it.
Right.
You know, I'm just too old to be taking insurance.
Yes. Well, it's a process.
It's a process.
Yeah, it requires a sort of knowledge about how to do the whole process, and you know, and it takes away from your skill as a practitioner. You got to spend time on paperwork,
or you got to hire somebody to do the billing for you. Yes.
Well, you still.
But I really haven't had time to do any of that. I mean, I'll be open to it if the opportunity presented. You know, but. I'm just too busy. I'm just too busy, and I really love this profession.
Okay.
It has given me financial security. It has given me spiritual feed. I have been fed by this profession in a spiritual way.
Okay, on that note, we will stop, and you'll be invited back to the round table.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please, thank you.
I have a young son, he's 17, and we're having this discussion about male toxic male behavior. So one of the things he asked me was, what I do, somebody looks at me from across the street and, I look back at them and then that spurs a confrontation. That might even end in my death. So what do I do? I said, well, you had a lot of choices, but because of your biological makeup, testosterone is pouring in your body as a young man. So testosterone makes you assertive, territorial, and risk-taking. Those are the basic things of testosterone. That's why all the nations in the world put their young people under the military control, because those young people can destroy the societies because they have no stake in societies, and they know that they're flowing with all this testosterone. So they want to make sure that testosterone does not destroy what they built, because young people don't have a real stake in what it is now. They have a stake in the future, but not what's now. And if there's any inconsistency, they will pick it up right away. So the first thing I explained to them, that if you want to change your perception about a situation, you can try and think it through, but it's not going to work. You can only change your perception when you have the ability to think, and that means that you have to have a relaxed mind. And a relaxed mind means that you have more options. So if the person across the street is looking at you, you don't have to buy into the challenge of, like, I have to stare this person down. You can just simply, smile to yourself and just move on. This is something that people can't disengage from. This is what I was talking about, the loss of, intelligence, the loss of your, IQ. So at work, if you are in a situation where you feel that someone's either trying to, belittle you, or some kind, you feel threatened emotionally by something at work, and you put up your defense mechanisms. As soon as you put up your defense mechanisms, you're going to lose your intelligence. And, they call that emotional intelligence. Some people have better emotional intelligence than others. But really, it's your thinking process has now been hijacked by attention, and you can't think clearly. And because, number one, if you really want to get to it, the oxygen in your brain is now less, so you suffering a deprivation of oxygen in your brain, and you're not getting enough oxygen in your brain. Of course, it's going to mean that you're going to be less intelligent. So it's important that you just, pull aside. It only take you less than a minute. All right, you pull aside and do 1 or 2 rounds of this breathing, and then all of a sudden, you're back. You're able to function. You're able to see things. And this is something that should be taught to the young lions, as I call them, the young, these young black guys out there, whose testosterone is forcing them to prove themselves as men, the toxic masculinity thing,